do a Hulk sketch cover and a Punchline sketch cover. And later on, about 10:30, maybe auction them off cheaper than what they're on sale for anybody that's hanging out. So I think I got the camera set up. Everything's good to go. I'm ready to get started. Hope everybody's doing good today. I'm going to do a Punchline sketch cover and a Hulk sketch cover. And I did a little composition sketch of both to make sure I knew what I wanted to do. I think I'm going to start with the Hulk, unless there's some desire to see the other one first, but I'm going to do them both tonight, so it doesn't matter too much. But I think the Hulk will be a good warm-up. This is on an Incredible Hulk cover. Marvel Comics. What is this one? This one is Incredible Hulk. It's I think this is a reprint of an older comic. Yeah. It's a reprint of one of the older comics, the one that used to have the ads in it. It's actually a pretty cool comic. I really like these reprints that they did. It's pretty cool. I love that style comic work as well. You know, blacks and flats. And the card stock on here is pretty good too. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too. Oh, let me make sure everything's good to go. I do have to get one thing set up here. Excuse me just a moment. Make sure my water, I've got my water bottle set up good to go. And for this one, I'm going to do like a Hulk smash where he smashes his hands in front. But first, I want to say welcome to everybody who stops by. I want to say thank you for spending a few moments with me. And if you're watching this after the fact or you're watching it later on YouTube, I still appreciate everything that you all do. Right now, let's see, we've got a couple of people in here, Winter Powell and Jam 1999. Thanks for stopping by. Winter Powell Art sounds like an artist yourself, and that's always cool, right? Having more artists in. And for this composition, I want Jam 1999. What's going on? Nothing much. I was going to do sketch cards normally, but I was in the mood to do something different. And this is a cover I've been wanting to do for a while anyway. So I figured, hey, now is a good time to do it. It's a very good time to do it. If I can block it in correctly. Chilling with yourself. I'm chilling with myself too. I think this one's going to be pretty cool. It's something I've definitely been looking forward to. The problem I normally have is, to be honest, I like to draw bigger than this, but this title block is so big, I'm going to have to like push it down just a little bit and see where it goes from there. But I think I'll be able to make it work. I won't be able to get as much detail in the face, but that's okay, because what I'm really looking forward to is detailing out those hands. They're going to be like right there in front of you, like Hulk smash, boom. Or what is that? The thunderclap. Is that what it's called? The Hulk thunderclap or whatever it is. Either way, I think it's pretty cool. I've always thought it was pretty badass. and I've always wanted to do a cool cover of it. And so tonight, that is the goal, to do a cool cover of the Hulk Thunderclap. And before I get into details, I just want to block it in to make sure I leave room for everything, because I draw big and then I wind up with just not enough space. So I'm going to take a few minutes and make sure I block it in properly. So bear with me just a little bit while I make sure this is going to have enough space. Mager, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. I want this to come out a little bit there. The Hulk is, so my favorite character is Batman, but I've always had a special love for the Hulk. I am a DC fanboy overall, and given a choice, I would just sit here and draw Batman all day. Um, but there's so many other characters that I like, Hulk being one of them, and I think it's because I can easily identify with them. Some of my friends, uh, they're like, "We know why you like the Hulk. It's because he's just like you." And I was like, they don't mean the the shape. I'm not buffed out and jacked, but they tell me I'm always angry. I was like, I'm not always angry. They're like, no, yeah, you're always angry. They're like, you are the Hulk because you are just always angry. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah, you just mad all the time. I was like, I don't mean to be. They're like, I guess plants don't mean to be green, but they are. It ain't easy being green, but the plants are green, the trees are green. Okay, that's a nice block in. I'm gonna have enough room. I've got some nice foreshortening going on, and I'll bring his eyes down about right there. Bring his nose in, and I think I'm gonna give him a snarl, a growl, a growling face. And give him his little Frankenstein. Here, that's the one thing about the Hulk. They always give him a jacked up haircut. It's like, I don't know. One day I'm gonna sit down and come up with a better haircut for Hulk. He just always seems to be like in need of a good barber. As if, they're like, oh, the Hulk can't do anything with that hair. And the Hulk doesn't skip leg day, does he? All right. I think that's a pretty decent composition. I don't know if you all can see that. Fits in. That's what I like to see. So now I can go in and start putting some detail in. Is the camera good? I guess I can lower the camera a little bit so you all can see a little bit more. Let me see if I can lower it just a tad bit, make it a little bit easier to see. How's that? Is that better? I may have lowered it too much. Now it's right here in my face. Let me see if I can swing it over just a little bit. There we go. There we go. I think that's a little bit better, right? A little bit easier to see. And it's not completely in my face. The charging cord is, but that's all right. And so the hands are going to be the main focal point. Any Hulk fans out there? Right now, I'm just kind of roughing it in and making sure I have enough space for everything I want to do. And that as I detail it out, I don't mess it up. I will ink these and color them. So they will be inked and colored. I don't know if I'm going to do a painted style cover or a comic style cover. The difference being when I comic style cover it, then I'll ink it and outlined in black. And then do the coloring. If I do it painted style, then I'll just go straight into color marker and I won't have the black line work on it. A little bit harder to do that, but it gives that painted style cover look, which is pretty cool. I do that sometimes on the sketch cards because they're a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to do. I do it on the covers when I'm doing a premium style cover, just because I think it looks fantastic to just have it all straight color. But it is a comic book, so I don't mind putting the ink marks in there as well. That I think that looks cool. Make it look like those hands are coming right at you, right in the face. In the face, in the face. I'm not sure why. Well, I think I do know why I was drawn to the Hulk. I was drawn to the Hulk when I was younger because I was drawn to most of the characters I've been drawn to are because I can see them in real life. Like I can see there really being a Hulk. Experiment goes bad and it gives somebody some crazy stuff. That's why I love Batman. I can understand Batman. I don't think it's a far-fetched story to have, somebody out there beating up criminals as a vigilante because of what happened to his family. I can understand that. So to me, they're not too far off from reality, to be honest. And so I've always kind of like had an affinity for the characters that I could see as being real characters. And I've always thought of the Hulk as somebody who isn't necessarily fake. I've got to make sure I see where the wrist is going to come out. Normally, I would have a movie going or play some music, but I do film these for, I do keep the videos for YouTube, and YouTube, you know, they'll be like, you're violating copyright laws, and so your video is not going to be shown. And I'm like, well, that defeats the whole freaking purpose. Um, I can't even have a movie. I knew the music part, they didn't want to do that. And so I just had movies going in the background. And then I guess they're catching that as well. And they're like, nope, you can't even have a movie going in the background. I'm like, wow. I was like, I'm not even showing the movie. It's just some white noise in the back. And they're like, nope. And I'm like, well, damn. Uh, not a lot I can do then. All right. I think that's coming out good so far. Keep them jacked. Can you imagine if there was just like, a real Hulk out there in the real world? I often wonder, when I'm sitting around with my friends, the comic book nerd crew, and we're like, suppose you became the Hulk, what would you do? And it's a hard question because it's easy to say that, you would do good stuff. But at the same time, reality is there's a lot of crap that you probably wouldn't take if you were the Hulk, right? You would just tell people, you know what? You need to stop doing that right now before you make me mad. And they'd be like, what are you going to do if I make you mad? And then you'd be like, booyah, I'm going to bust that ass. And then they're like, oh, didn't know you were the Hulk. And then to emphasize his size, you got to give him that little head. If you make a big dude with a normal size head, it just kind of looks like a normal dude. So you got to give him a little, make his head a little bit smaller to just emphasize the size of his body. All right, this is going pretty good. Again, definitely want to emphasize the hands. They're going to be the focal point. And I think I'm just going to blacken that between the fingers to kind of bring them forward a little bit more. If anybody has any questions or any specific topics, just throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just be rambling about stuff, which is cool. One of the reasons I started these live streams on Whatnot while I draw is because it helps me when I go to comic convention, because it's people like to watch you while you draw, but at the same time you got to talk. And at first I had a really hard time. I couldn't do a commission at the table and people really want to see it, right? They're like, man, I want to see you do it. But then I couldn't at the time talk and draw at the same time. So now the Whatnot has kind of helped me with that, being able to talk and draw at the same time. And this is a good way for me to practice it. So I just usually bring up topics that I would talk about normally anyway. And I think it kind of helps me. And he gets that block Frankenstein head going on too. I don't know why, but they block his head up, and I try to give him a little more pizzazz in the hairstyle, and so he doesn't look like a gump. Give him a nice square jaw, some defining features. Okay, I can dig that. He looks kind of badass. Put a little bit more oomph on that shoulder. And bring this one out just a little bit more. I really shouldn't have done a completely straight on view, so I didn't have to worry about too much about symmetry, but I did. And so we'll go with it. That's okay. I think it's coming out pretty cool. Hopefully you all are enjoying it too. And then the topic that everyone has wondered since the beginning of time is, how can he get so huge and his pants just not rip off? Everybody wants to know. I think everybody wants those pants. I know as I get older, I'm like, yes, I want those pants. Give me those pants that no matter what I eat, they're going to fit. I love those pants. I need those pants in my life. Go out for pizza night, pants fit. Doesn't matter what you do, pants fit. Skip a few days in the gym, pants fit. Make a few days in the gym, pants fit. They just fit no matter what. It'd be a huge market for pregnant women. Pants just fit during the whole pregnancy. Pants fit. No worries. Pants fit. All right. I think that's a pretty good composition. There's enough detail in that for me to start inking it. So since I'm going to ink it and I'm inking it myself, I'm not going to go super deep with details because then I would just be drawing it twice. If I was doing this and somebody else was inking it, then I would definitely have to go in a little bit deeper on the detail. So before I ink, I like to pick up some of the loose lead and graphite, lighten it down just a little bit so that it makes it a little bit easier to erase after I ink. How are we doing on time? Oh, it only took about 30 minutes to sketch this out. So that's pretty cool. Doing good on time. Great on time, I might say. I think this one went a little bit quicker because I knew what I wanted to do before I started. Sometimes if I don't know what I want to do, then this first stage takes a lot longer than I would like. So we'll go ahead and start inking this. I don't know why I'm starting with the nose, but I am. I'm using a Pentel brush pen because that way I'll be able to get some different line weights organically and not have to use a bunch of different line or pen lines to do it. And then I'm going to use a fine liner to add some details. But I love the brush pen just because it's so versatile. I wonder if I should give him some battle damage as well. He's definitely been in a fight. How do we know this? Because he's hulked out. He doesn't just hulk out for no reason at all. Sketchy Visions in the house. Thanks for stopping by. We just finished sketching the Hulk and now we're inking it. The other thing I like about the brush pen is I can easily go from thick to thin on the lines. And I guess I made the decision to do the line work. I forgot I thought about maybe doing a painted cover. So I guess this is going to be comic style. But I'm still going to color it with my Copics. Or not Copics, I don't use the Copic colors. I use the Ohuhu brand for coloring. And see how I can naturally just get that thick to thin, thin to thick line without a lot of effort. I dig that. And I'm starting with the face because that's really where I have to show the most control. And a lot of the rest of it is going to be big, broad strokes. So that makes it a little bit easier. I haven't really picked a lighting direction yet. So I'll do that at some point here. So there's been a few different banners. Bruce Banner, David Banner, as far as what his actual name is. I grew up in 60s and 70s with the cartoon Dr. Bruce Banner, doubted by gamma rays. He goes in a rage. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that used to be the theme song. I'm really starting the way this is coming out already. Starting to add in some detail. I need to finish before I start getting too excited about the details. I'm definitely digging it. After I ink this, I'm going to set it aside just for a little while so the ink will dry before I start putting the alcohol markers on it. And I'll sketch out the punchline while the ink is drying on this one. If I just used my pens, my multi-liners, they dry a lot faster than the brush pen. But the brush pen I have to be a little bit more careful on because sometimes I'll start the markers too fast and the ink really hasn't dried completely. And then I'll get some smearing. So I want to be careful with that as well. I can dig it. I can dig it. Plus, I want to go over with the eraser one more time when the ink dries, kind of tidy it up a little bit more because the pencil will get on the markers. and sometimes it'll just muddy up the color a little bit too much, make it look kind of funky. Funky when I'm not trying to be funky. Okay, I'm digging that. I'm showing his stomach a little bit to kind of show he's bent over. My pen, let me check the ink on this. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely toward the end. I have another cartridge here, but I'm going to finish this line work first. I could tell because I was getting that dry brush pen effect when I wasn't trying to. And I'm like, oh, I can tell the ink is going out. The cool thing is, even when the cartridge is kind of low, there's so much ink in the brush itself, I can usually still get a lot more marks out of it before it completely is just like, ugh. And I keep a couple of these on hand, and I usually keep one that's close to dry so that I can intentionally get the brush, dry brush effect when I want it. And then after I color it, I'll come back with one of the fine liners and do some detailed ink work on top of the colors. This ensures that they don't smear. All right. So I'm going to let this dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to erase the pencils and come in with some deeper color. Not deeper color, with some color. But there's the first sketch. We're doing pretty good on that. I think that looks pretty cool. And so let me I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to grab my punchline, and we'll sketch out punchline, and then we'll come back to the Hulk. So we'll knock out 2 covers tonight. Again, thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's something I would be doing anyway. It just makes it all the more better when someone wants to hang out with me. And if you're watching this after the fact, thank you for the rewatch. All right. So the blue cover is kind of cool. And this is Punchline DC #1. I love that. That's Art Germ, I believe. Yep. Maybe, no, maybe not. I don't know. That might not be Art Germ. But I love the Punchline character. And she came about during Joker War. I was never a big Harley Quinn fan. I don't know why, but and this is a nice cover stock as well. so it'll hold the ink pretty good. I wasn't a big Harley Quinn fan. I don't know why. I like her, but I just was never like super like, oh, Harley Quinn. Whereas Punchline, I really kind of dug the story. Uh, oh, see, that blue is kind of hard to see. I don't even know if you all can see it at all. Oh, so bear with me as I kind of block it in before I get to the details. I apologize if it's too hard to see. Because I can barely see it myself. I guess you can see it a little bit. You can see the lines a little bit. I'm going pretty light right now while I'm doing the block in anyway. So that piece of it doesn't change too much. But I'm going to have her. What was I saying? I was saying how I didn't really get into Harley, but I really did get into Punchline. To me, she was a more believable character. Although I did like uh, Sean Gordon Murphy's take on Harley Quinn and the two Harleys. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was really cool, as a matter of fact, the way he did it. And I'm going to have her licking a knife with some blood on it. I don't think I've ever done this type of sketch before, so I don't even know if I've ever drawn somebody with their tongue sticking out. So that's kind of different. Where's everybody from? I do these later shows. I'm in Florida, and I try to do later shows for some of the people I know on the West Coast, because the conventions I do are on the East Coast here, and the people I see are on the East Coast. The comic shops I visit are on the East Coast. So I think I support the East Coast fairly well. And doing these shows earlier, it's Saturday. People are out and about doing their thing. They got people work all week, and then they got stuff to do on Saturday, chores to catch up on. So I try to do this a little bit later for them. Okay, I think you all can see that. That's coming out pretty cool. Give her a little top knot for her ponytail. I'm going to take that all the way to the edge. And I want to kind of give her some bedroom eyes on this one. So I don't know if I'm going to go completely closed, halfway closed, but also I could do crazy eyes. I could give her those crazy wide open eyes while she licks the knife. And I think that would be cool as well. Nothing like a psycho who keeps their eyes wide open while they're licking the blood of their victims, right? Gotta make sure I keep the head shape. And the nose shape. And give her some nice eyebrow. And she has a little blush on this side of her face. I think it's a little pink blush. She has a little blush on the tip of her nose. Come down into her shoulder. She wears a little shoulder patch, something. And then she has almost like a bodysuit, bikini over a bodysuit or something like that. And then I'm going to do her hand holding the knife. I gotta make it look good. I can't make it look like a baby hand. That was a little bit too small. Need to erase a little bit. I was about to give her a little baby hand. There we go. Can't make it too big either. Can't make the fingers too fat. Keep that femininity about her. Good way to do the hands are to kind of base them on some other part. Like if you took your hand from your chin, it'd go up to about the top of your forehead. You could choke yourself. Your hands would wrap around your neck a certain size. So those are good ways to kind of judge if the hand looks right in proportion to the rest of the body, because that's what people are going to be looking at as the rest of the body. So if the hand looks weird, it'll be pretty obvious. And that's one of the things about drawing portraits, and even if for fake people know what people look like. We look at people all day. So if something is just absolutely wrong, it registers real quick that that's not right. And if it's not the focal point, there, you can get away with a few areas for for artistic license. All right. So that's a good start. Give it a little hilt. It's just a reminder for me. I think we're doing good on time. Now the mouth. I want to give her, a pretty, beautiful mouth. And without making her tongue look too weird. And we'll have some blood dripping down the knife. All right, so that's cool. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there we go. There's our under sketch. And then the eye. Do I go completely closed or wide and crazy? I should need to bring the nose or part of the face in just a little bit more. I think I'm going to go half. Half open eye. And try to make it sexy. I'm losing my lines myself on this blue cover. And then she's got like a little thing under there. All right, I like that. So now this time, I'm not going to use a brush pen. I'm going to use a fine liner because I can't see. And so I want to get in some landmarks that are easier to see before I pull out the brush pen. But I'm going to keep it loose so that I have room for some shadowing and some artistic license later. Plus, I'll be able to erase right away because this dries a lot faster. So I won't have that problem with having to wait to erase. It'll be dark enough for me to see what I'm doing though. Whereas with the pencil, I'm having a pretty hard time with seeing it on the blue cover, and I'm right up on it. I'm inches away from it, and I still am having a hard time. And I think you all will be able to see this better as well. And I'm giving her crazy eyelashes. The other thing about women is you can't put a lot of line work on them because it makes them look older. So you got to be cognizant of that as well. Give her some earrings up in there. Trying to keep her a little sexy at the same time. I think that's coming out pretty cool. Excuse me if I go a little bit silent here for a little bit. Just trying to follow these lines. I don't want to mess them up, and as if I do, there's not a lot I can do about it at this point. And there we go. There's the rough comp, and I can get in there and erase the pencil lines right away without worrying about smearing it too much, because that dries a lot faster. And getting rid of those lines, those construction lines, already makes this look better. And that's something I can work with there. Oh yeah, that came out nice. Now this one, I don't know how much I'm going to color, just because the blue will change the color of the markers. I'm definitely going to go in with a lot of more deep blacks, and I'll probably do some highlight color, but I don't know if I'll fully color it, because like the flesh tone, if I use a flesh tone, it's going to blend with the blue and not give me exactly what I want. So you got to be careful when you're doing a colored sketch cover, if it's not black or white, because the color that you put on there, some of the covers are blue, yellow, red. I've worked on a bunch, and yeah, you can get some funky stuff. So you got to be careful with that. So let's shoot on over here to the Incredible Hulk. Let's get rid of the construction lines on this because it's dry. And that came out really nice as well. And this one's going to be fairly easy to start with, because I'm just going to go with basic green, give them some purple pans, and then I'm going to come back in with some deep black inks, and then I'll finish up with some highlight color after that for some shadowing and for some highlights. All right, cool. Now let's see what I have the right markers out already. I'm not sure if I do or not. Let me move some stuff to the side here. Pardon me just a moment. I'll put this up while I get situated here for a second. All right. So for coloring, I do keep my swatch cards handy because it helps me. I am colorblind, and so I see colors. I see the purples, the blues, the greens, the reds, the oranges, purples. But at the same time, sometimes when the colors are too close together, I can't distinguish them. And what I see in color is not going to be what you see in the color. And I usually go for a lot more contrast than what people would see who are not colorblind, as some of my other artistic friends have told me. So I keep the swatches because it gives me a good color and it gives me the name. So I know what I'm looking for. And so since I'm going to go with the green, oh, thank you very much. I have I think there's 6 of them. I'm only wearing 2 of them at the time. At the conventions, I wear them a lot, but I usually keep like 3 on each hand. But yeah, pirates, minotaurs, Native American rings. Those are all the rings. Actually, I can throw them all on if you want to see them, so you can see what they all are. But the other reason I like the sketch cards is because I know whatever I pick as the local color, I know I need to be able to go lighter and darker than whatever color I start with. And I haven't picked out a lighting direction for this one yet. So I keep these little stickers with arrows, and I'm just going to just put this right there to remind me that the sunlight is going to come this way. And so in some areas, I'm going to want a more yellow green because of the yellow up in here. I want to catch that. And then I'm going to go with probably a yellow green and an absinthe. And that gives me, but I'll probably also go like with a darker in some areas too. But I always want to make sure I can go lighter and darker. So I'm just going to start by putting some color down and building up. Again, lighting coming from this direction. And I do that just as a reminder as I get going, especially if I'm talking. I want to make sure that I am paying attention to the color direction, not doing crazy stuff. Wow, that's already starting to look pretty cool. I love painting. I do a lot of painting. I do fantasy art painting on Thursday nights. If you all are interested in that, you will see uh, fantasy art painting. It's usually called fantasy art painting or mythology madness, depending on what I have planned. In addition to doing comics, I do lots of fantasy art. So you'll be able to see that as well. If that's your thing, it is my thing. I love doing fantasy art, probably more so than I enjoy doing comics, if we're being truthful. So when I do the markers, a lot of times I do it in a painterly style. And that's why sometimes I don't ink. I'll just do the pencils. I'll erase them down light enough to see them. And then I'll just go in with the marker and give it a full painterly style. And it just comes out so beautifully. I'm like, ooh, that looks so sharp. Takes a little bit longer to do, but it's usually worth it in the end as far as the final product. You can see some examples of that in the Arcane show pictures that I drew. They're in the bin. You can see that painterly style with the markers. Although most of those are mixed media, where I use marker as well as gouache. When I have a little bit more time, I usually like to do mixed media for sketches, as opposed to just marker and pen and ink. So that gives me my highlight. All right. And then I'm going to come in with actually, yeah, this should be good. I'm just hoping it's not overwhelmingly too dark where it takes away from the ink work. Oh yeah, I think that's cool. Keep those whites in the eye. Yeah, I like that. That's a good color. I'm not going to try to keep the dark green, the really dark greens. Uh, I'll probably wind up doing things twice just because I'm more in con mode than I am detailed illustration mode. On a detailed illustration, I would lay out the entire color palette before I started. When I'm at a con, I just kind of go with the flow and get a nice picture. And then once the picture is to my liking, I just kind of end it, which is kind of what I'm probably going to do here. I think that's looking good so far. Again, I want to say thank you for everyone who took the time to stop by. Truly appreciate it. Um, I know there's lots of other things you could be doing besides watching some joker draw and whatnot. For me, I would be doing this anyway, so it's no big deal to cut on the camera. Um, and it's good practice to be able to concept and draw and talk all at the same time. I remember the first few conventions I did, I wouldn't draw. I was just like, no, I would take commissions, but I was like, people are like, well, I want to see you do it. And I go, I can't do it. I can't sit here and do it at the same time while you're watching because you're going to have questions, you want to talk, and then I can't concentrate. So this has helped me really just step the game up as far as being able to talk and draw and concept at the same time. Now, when I do conventions, it's a lot more easy to just fall into it. And the cool thing is, once also by doing this, having a regular show on Saturday nights, I I do more art, and so that's a bonus as well because I kind of force myself to finish some of the pieces that maybe normally I would take a little bit longer to do. The other thing I try to do is keep the strokes in line with the contours of the body and the muscle so that they look right. But that also means I have to make sure that I'm not too jagged in certain areas. Like here, I want to make sure I come all the way across the muscle and not stop here and then keep going because then that leaves that overlap, which I can blend out as long as I do it while it's still kind of wet. But if I just put the whole stroke down at once, Makes it a whole lot better. So normally, I shouldn't say normally. Sketches like this would normally go for 85 and up, depending on just how much mixed media I used. But for whatnot, when I do them live, I'll auction them off at a much lower price point, just as a thank you for people watching the show. I think this is a good color for the Hulk. The underbelly of the beast. While I'm doing this, I'm actually thinking about how I want to do Punchline, because I didn't realize when I started that it was a blue cover and I was going to have to color it. For example, if I put down yellow, it's going to come out green. So if I put down blue, it'll be blue, different shades of blue, but it's a little bit harder to do. And then, so I'll probably go with a much more limited palette, but at the same time, I can't get a yellow on that blue cover. So that's going to make it harder to do a skin tone unless I use gouache, unless I paint it, which I might do. That may actually be what I have to do is paint that cover. Not marker paint it, but actually paint it. All right, that came out pretty cool. All right, throw some purple down for his pants. Leaving room for a darker purple in the shadow. This seems pretty dark as it is, but it's not really. How we doing on time? Doing great on time. I usually try to keep the shows to 2 hours or under, mainly because of my back and hands. I got to make sure I can do this for many more decades. And so you got to take your breaks. Normally, if I am just working here at my chair by myself, 45, 50 minutes, take a break. 45, 50 minutes, take a break. On the Whatnot shows, I'll go 2 hours straight, but then I want to make sure I take time to get up, stretch, work it out, and take care of the body. I have a nice chair and I have a nice desk. I use the tilt up desk, so I'm not drawing flat. Takes the pressure off my neck. That was probably the best investment I made, was getting a tilt up drawing board. Although it's easier to film flat, it's not good. It's not good for the body at all. And if I only did it maybe like once a month, that would be cool. But doing it this much, I I, I gotta have a good setup. All right, got his purple pans. I'm gonna go ahead and dive in and do the deep purple right now, if I can find my deep purple color. Just go ahead and that's a deep purple. I don't know if you all can see the difference, but it's a big difference. Oh yeah, I think you all can see that pretty good. Oh yeah, that's cool. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do some of the deeper greens right now. And I'm gonna go with an emerald. For some areas that I know I want to be a deeper green. Really add some depth and shadow to it. I think I'll get a little bit under there. Under the nose. Under the jaw. Around the eyes. Really frame them up. And this is what I was saying. I'm going over some areas that if I had known I was gonna go this color, I wouldn't have done it dark in the first place. But that's okay. think this is really going to add some nice depth to the piece, give it some shape and some volume. Hope you all are digging it. I'm doing great on time. I'm liking the way this is coming out. Go with some bigger, bolder shapes. All right, I can dig it. Come in here a little bit, get a little volume shape in there. And then maybe up under the neck. Separate that head a little bit more. Kind of frame the face. I'll even throw a little bit right there. Get a nice frame on that. I can dig it. And then I'll come back with my brush pen because now I'm not worried about smearing. Where if I had done this step before, I probably would have smeared a bunch of stuff. And then it would have just been crap. It would have looked bad. And nobody would have been happy. Give him his mop. There's his mop. And this, I want it to be nice. Oh, I've got to change this ink out. Broman RN, what's going on? Again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by tonight. If I missed you anything in the chat, just let me know. We sketched 2 sketch covers tonight. I'm finishing the color on the Hulk. The other one was Punchline. I haven't colored it yet. I just did the sketch. All right. That's looking good. And then I can come back with my detail pen and give it a little bit of flair. Just add in some okay. His clavicles. Throw in some delts. Hope everybody's enjoying this tonight. I enjoyed doing it for you. Nothing throughout the week probably makes me happier than creating art for people. Of all the things I do during the week, that's got to be the number one. And I think that's cool. There's our Hulk. And before I send this out, I will paint the background to get rid of that white. I won't do it now. One, I don't have my gouache out. And two, I have to kind of prep it to make sure that, I don't ruin the cover. But I won't send it out with a stark white cover. But I hope you all like that. I can run it on auction if anybody's interested. Like I said, if it doesn't go tonight, it'll be in the bin for $85. If someone wants it now, I'll throw it in the auction for $40. And either way, I'll do the background. All right, let's shoot over to Punchline. And this one's going to be a little bit different because of the blue cover. So there's the line art. But I am going to do a lot more deep blacks on this one because it's easier to do the deep blacks than it is to color. So let's get started. Let's see where this one takes us, because I'm not sure myself where we're going to wind up. I'm going to start off doing some little areas just to see how the ink takes to the cover, because sometimes the ink, the cover doesn't like to accept the ink. And then I wound up having to paint it anyway. But this cover seems to be taking the ink pretty well. All right. That's cool. Work up on that hair. Oh, yeah. That's looking good already. And I'm going to keep the same lighting direction since her face is pointed this way. This is going to be the lighting direction as well. Punchline is, everybody always talks about the better a woman is, the crazier she is. Punchline makes that true. Oh, she's such a great woman. She's crazy. That's why she's great. I don't know what that accent came from. That's kind of how I just pictured it coming out. Mm. And actually, for some of these larger areas, I have a really nice brush pen. If I still have ink in it, I don't even know. This one I love because, there's not a lot of ink left in this one. It's made for large areas. But it is just about dry. So I'm going to use it to hit the spine. I think I have another one like this one somewhere, but it's not out, so I'm not going to bore with you all with trying to find it. But this one is perfect for, look how much ink this whole tube gets filled with ink. And I can just really go to town with painting with this brush. I'm going to use it as long as it lets me, as long as it still flows out a little bit. Even though I can tell it's empty, maybe I can get a little more out of it. Yeah, it's pretty dry. Damn it. I should have checked first. Do I have another one out? I do not have another one of these out. So I'll spare you all the time for me trying to go and digging it out my art bin. And I'll just use this one. I don't like using this one for, I have another one though. Because I like to keep the tip on this, where I do have one. Let me see if it has ink in it. This one, I cut the tip off a little bit because it was messed up. And I can use it for these large areas. So that'll work. Not mess up my good one. I said I would use it until this ink dries, this ink cartridge is up, and then I wouldn't refill it. I'd throw it away. But I would say these pens, they have the nylon brush tips, and they last years. I mean, 5, 10 years I've had some of these. I keep them in stock just because I don't know when the brushes will start to fade. But at the same time, uh, rarely do I crack another one open. Sometimes I'll give them away at a convention. Artists will be like, "Oh man, I don't have something to draw with," and I'll just shoot. I'll be like, "Here you go," and they go, "Oh, thanks," because we have to help each other out. And I like trading supplies with some of the artists. Sometime, they'll be like, "Hey, have you tried this?" And I'll go, "No, have you tried this?" And we'll exchange and you know, make the community a little bit better. Sorry, Tinian, I'm going to cover up the T in your name. Sometime I'll do these and people want me to sell them for $10, which a lot of times, to be honest, a blank costs $10. So I'm like, I'm just selling you the book at that point. So it's hard to do that. I like the fact that they make the blanks, but you do have to pay full cost for them. The Not you, but the artists. We get them. They don't give them to us for free though. We have to buy them, and a lot of times they're more expensive than the regular comic. So sometimes if you're like, man, how come I can't get this for this price? It's because I had to pay more than that to do it. So now it's like getting a free sketch is what you're basically asking for, which I do sometimes, depending on the circumstances. I haven't done a giveaway in a while. I've been doing lots of live drawing and painting. I haven't had a giveaway show in a while. I need to set one up and just do some thank you love and give some stuff away. Probably sketch cards just because of the shipping. They're a little bit easier to ship than some of the other stuff. So even though I'm laying down full black on a lot of these areas, I'll come back with maybe a white pencil or marker or highlighter and bring out some highlights. And in some of the areas, I'll just leave it blue. And in some areas, I'll actually come back with a white highlighter. Got to be careful with the women. Too many lines, and they lose their femininity and their sexiness, and they look like old. Whereas guys, when you're doing guys, you can put more lines on them, and they just look rugged. But if you put too many lines on the woman, it ages them. A female sketch, and you got to be careful with that. You don't want them to appear older than they are, or than you intend them to be, I should say. Punchline's rather young. She's not an older lady. Makes it a little bit harder because a lot of people think Oh, well, less lines, it's easier. No, it's actually harder because you have to really pay attention to where you're putting the lines. And you can't just, build them up like you do sometimes the guys. I'm sure my artist friends out there understand what I'm talking about. For colored cover, this one is taking the ink pretty good. A lot of the colored covers, I mean, they don't take ink well at all. And you wind up fighting with the cover. And that never turns out well. I haven't seen any really cool cosplays for Punchline in person. There's a few I saw on the internet, um, but I haven't seen a cool one live at a convention yet. And I still see lots of Harleys, and Harley's cool, but I want to see more people step out doing Punchline. I think she's just such a great character. Admittedly, I am biased. I think this is purple and the bodysuit's black. Let me double check in here. I think there's a picture of her in here. The bodysuit's purple and the top is black. So that's cool. That gives me a little bit more deep black I can put on here. And I'm sorry, gentlemen, I'm covering up your names. Hopefully I'm staying on camera as I flip this puppy around. Oh, let me slide. Oh, no, I'm not. I wasn't on screen at all. I actually have these two little stickers to remind me to stay in the lines. Actually, they're pieces of tape. I should put stickers. It'd be something better to look at than pieces of tape. I don't even know if you all can see the tape. There's a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here. They kind of show me, hey, stay in between the pieces of tape, stay on camera. I'm working faster than the ink can come out. Let me slow down just a tad bit. And this cover is soaking up the ink pretty good. All right, I'm getting it used up a little bit. And I think the gloves are black too. Let me double check the gloves. Black gloves. Now this one, I gotta be a little bit more careful because I want want to keep the shape of the fingers. If I was just going to black it all out, all I would have had to do is the silhouette. And I definitely want more than just the silhouette. I want those fingers to I want the fingers to show. But I can add a little volume to them with some blacks. And that's an area where I can come in with some nice cool detail with a pen and not affect the age, because it'll be her gloves, not her hands, that have the wrinkles and the contours. So that'll be cool. Oh, Ray is in the building. What's happening, Ray? Thank you for stopping by. Just made my night. How about that? Anyone that has not seen Hell Candy Art, you definitely should be following her. Incredible artist. Has definitely inspired me with some of the stuff she's done. Because that's how incredible she is. Not to mention, she's just an awesome person. How are we doing on time? All right, we're coming up on our 2-hour mark, and we're almost done. We're going to go a little bit over. And we were able to do 2 sketch covers tonight. We got our Incredible Hulk done. We've got our Punchline almost done. I enjoyed doing them both. I hope you all enjoyed seeing them both. Thursday, what did I do? Thursday, I don't even remember what I worked on. I'm glad I got to catch you on your final train for the year. That was what I needed to do. I didn't get to stay for the whole thing because I had some other stuff I had to do, but I got to see, I think, you and Dragon Hoarder. I think I got to catch you all. But I wasn't going to miss yours. Yeah, that's a pretty fair. Yeah, it was fantasy something. Hmm. Oh, I did a Minotaur sketch. That's what I did. I did a Minotaur sketch because I finished the painting of Doc Holliday, and so and I didn't start a new painting, so I did Minotaur sketch. All right, I'm digging this. I'm getting some nice deep blacks, kind of separating some stuff out, making it look cool. Let me see if I can do this here without making it look bombastic. Maybe a little bit underneath here. All right, that's cool. That's cool. No, you weren't wrong. I uh I wanted to get on more. There was home chores I had to get done. And I tried to like do it while the phone was in my pocket, but it just turns off if I do that. Oh, I think that came out pretty cool. The question is, how do I get the color? How do I get the color? Because this blue cover is going to give me some blues. And actually, I can. Let me see here if I can bring a little bit here. Give some shape to this. I'm definitely going to have to put some highlights in there. The stickers you sent me were very cool. Now I have a sticker pack and I have an original muffin and I got a sticker of the one that I have. And so that was pretty cool to have the sticker and the original drawing. That's kind of tight. I like that. I, I'll probably put them on you know what? I should probably start putting them on my drawing board here. I should probably because I've started to collect some pretty decent stickers and I don't normally know what to do with them. I don't put them on my computers like a lot of people do or my tablets. I can't do that. That's just sacrilege. Oh, I like that. That came out pretty cool. Totally on purpose. That's the way it was supposed to be. All right. That's coming out pretty nice. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and do the comic outline with the pen here. I think people know what I mean when I say the comic outline. Although I really shouldn't be using the brush pen for this. But I like to try to vary the weight. But the knife is going to be kind of hard. I don't want to mess up the knife. Because it needs to look sharp. How are we doing? So we're 5 minutes over, but we'll definitely be done here pretty soon. Again, it's not I have to stop at a certain time. It's not good for the body to go more than a couple hours. I have to make sure I get up and stretch. And I could get up, take a break, and come back, but everybody would just bounce after that anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's the comic outline. And the knife. I'm going to use... Thank you. The gloves are black, so I can do that with them. Okay. And then I want to come back, and now I'll try to put in some details that won't ruin it. So I did want to put, actually, let me think. Oh, her suit's purple. I might be able to get away with a purple that won't bleed into the blue. So I'm going to go for it. She has a nice, bright purple outfit underneath the black. And, I think whatever I put down, the blue is going to tint it a little bit deeper. So I think if I go with, let's see, we're going to try a couple of different things and see which one comes out good. Which pen is this? That's that pen. I'm going to just start off with some. Oh, wow. Actually, that took pretty good. Okay. Maybe this is. Oh, okay. This is gonna come out nice. The blue darkens it up just enough. So I think you can still see the purple without it being. Okay, so that works. Okay, this is good news, good news, good news. And I'm even going to go ahead and use that in her hair tie. Tie that in together. Good news, good news. I still don't know how I'm going to do the flesh tone because nothing's going to come out on that blue that's going to be right. Although I must say that this cover doesn't seem to be bleeding the color of the cover too much. I might be able to get away with a flesh tone. We'll test it on her little splotch. I don't know what it would be called in real life. Her makeup. So that came out pretty good. Okay. Blush. There you go. That's what I was trying to think of. I know I want blood on the knife. So the red is not turning to purple. I dig it. She's like Jack Reacher. I intend to drink your blood from a boot. All right. I think this cover might actually work out pretty good. A lot of the colors are not no. Yeah, see this. Yeah. I got too cocky. This pink, the blue just ate it up. I got cocky. Oh, that's Jack Reacher. Gross on many levels. All right, what color is her blush? I don't remember. Ah, I got cocky. I thought the cover wasn't going to. Oh, that's a red. Okay. And then her nose gets a little red. So I can go with that same. I'll go with that same red. I plan to beat you and drink your blood from a boot. Yeah. We'll put a little bit. At least it'll have color harmony. How about that? There'll be color harmony. With the red and the purple. And I'll just leave the skin tone the way it is with the blue because it's nothing's going to take. And can I do the lips? Her lipstick is a little more purplish, darker purple. So if I go with a vermilion, that may work, or something darker than the tongue, at least. This is good. Yeah, I dig it. Okay, that's cool. I can dig it. All right. It looks pink. The tongue does? Oh, okay. Well, then that came out right. And so tonight we were able to knock out 2 sketch covers. We got a Hulk and we got a Punchline. There's our Hulk. I like the way this one came out a lot. I'll put some speed lines after I do the painted background. I'll do some speed lines coming out of the thunderclap, and then punchline. I really like the way that came out. Um, I might be able to add a little more pizzazz to it. Hold on just a second. Let me try just to add a little more pizzazz to the tongue. Okay. And then I really want to do some work around the eyes and the cheek, but I'm not sure if it's going to age her, but I feel like it's missing. I just felt like some stuff was missing from that. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Um, all right. I like that a little bit better. I just felt like she needed something around those eyes. Drippy, what's happening? Just finishing up here. Trying to make sure I'm satisfied with punchline. I think I can give her a little white in the eye without making it overwhelming. Just tone that blue down just a little bit. Okay, I like that. All right, there we go. That'll work. All right, so there's our Hulk. The background, I'm going to paint with gouache. I'll spare you all that detail. And then there's our punchline. Sexy crazy. Hopefully that fits the bill. And I'll throw these up for the thumbnail. Let me see. Actually, I need to raise the camera up a little bit to get a nice thumbnail shot of both. There we go. And that should give me a nice thumbnail shot. So thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a sketch I've been wanting to do for a while with the thunderclap, and so I said I'm going to go ahead and do it tonight. And then I wanted to do Punchline for a while as well, and I didn't want to do sketch cards tonight. I wanted to take a little bit more time and do some more finished work. Um, Definitely want to paint the white out of this, and then for her, I don't know. I may use some gouache to kind of add some. That's the only way I can go over to blue for any type of flesh. Um, but I think it came out cool. I'm happy with the two. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I do have a Kickstarter going on. If you go in there and type in Minotaur Encounters, if you're into D&D, that's what this is for. But I also have 6 original Minotaur sketches and paintings up for sale. The second time only ever that I've done that. The first time was here on Whatnot. I sold 1, and now I have 6 more up. And that'll be it for probably till the end of the year before I sell any more of the original Minotaur. But thanks for hanging out. We're about 25 minutes over what's scheduled, and I'm feeling good. I could go longer, but I need to make sure I take care of my back and my hands and my neck. So I got to take a break either way. And I doubt if I jump on again later tonight. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everybody. Good to see you all. Thanks a lot, Drip. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Bro Menard. Nate. Who else do I remember was on here? Dizzle Joe. Way Ways, I think, Drax, Raphael was on for a while. There's a bunch of people who stopped by. Sorry if I don't remember you all, but thank you all. I appreciate it. It's been a great night. I had a lot of fun doing these. Did them. We were, the whole thing was captured live. So great stuff. You all take care. Peace out.